Hey, what's happening? You're watching Toon TV. Better late than never. My opinion of the match at Selhurst Park. It finished Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle United 1. We're very lucky to leave Selhurst Park with a point, but a point is better than nothing on the road. It doesn't matter how you get it, every point is valuable in the Premier League. Crystal Palace fans will be kicking themselves that they haven't got all 3 points, and I don't blame them because we had to ride a storm throughout that game. We defensively, despite all the positives of managing to get a draw, we got away with it, and it's still the same side that Graham Jones has to work with to the one that Steve Bruce left after Spurs. Of course, Steve Bruce has lost his job. Thank goodness for that. But Graham Jones has the chance to take the job for the Crystal Palace game and the Chelsea game on Saturday. And yeah, what a coincidence. He managed to get a point. But then Graham Jones did say after the game that, we were very fortunate. And that is the right evaluation because Crystal Palace had double the chances, and Caldolo was making some fantastic saves throughout the match. And Zaha had umpteen chances to, put Crystal Palace out of sight. And our lads can take a lot of credit, for being resilient. Because when you go 1-0 down away from home, it's very easy to crumble under the pressure, especially when you haven't got a main manager in charge, and we're currently in a new era. The players don't know what the future holds for them, but we didn't do that. We managed to get back into the game and equalise, and from there, yes, again, we had to really stay in the game and not give anything away. I was expecting the lads to maybe kick on. We didn't, but we didn't have any regrets come full time. If anything, it was more relief, more than anything else. As said, it's a point to build on, but in terms of the actual game, which I'm going to talk about right now, I still think there's so much that we've got to improve on, because the games aren't getting any easier. We haven't won a game this season. The table doesn't lie. We're 19th in the relegation zone for a reason, because we can't do the basics right. And it happened in both the first half and the second half. And I've seen it all too often this season and last season. Our possession is shocking. First half possession was 22%. That has got to drastically improve if we are going to win games in this league. You can talk about, possession. What is possession all about? Because it's what you do with the ball that counts. Yeah, granted. But to have that low percent of possession is real alarm bells. And that's why we need, the January window to improve the side. Because we know it's not good enough. We know we've got some championship, quality players that need moved on. We've got some Asian players as well. And talking of, the defenders, listen, they're aging, as said. They haven't got the same legs anymore. I'm talking about Kieran Clark, Jamal Lascelles, Fernandez, and many of the others at the back, because we're too slow to everything. We give away too much in terms of goal mouth chances, and there's a lot more balls going in the back of the net than ever before. We've gone from having potentially the 5th best defence under Rafa to one of the worst in the league, and that's happened over time because there's been a lack of organisation under Steve Bruce, and that's why Graham Jones come in the first place, to try and help out Steve Bruce, which he didn't like. He snapped, of course he has, but the new owners know about Graham Jones and why he's going to stay here long term when the new manager comes in, because he's got something about him. He's got that relationship with the players and the fans and the trust of the owners for now, and that's very, very important. And that's why he's been given these 2 games as a matter of trust from Amanda Staveley and co. And you were expecting a bit of a lift, from the players. The first half didn't fill me with any confidence whatsoever. It was a very hard watch. It was all of Crystal Palace. they started the brighter. They had a lot of the possession. And, we were very lucky to get into half-time at 0-0 because with the low possession of 22%, we shouldn't even be in the game, if I'm honest. As said, Zaha, he hits the post when a cross comes in. For me, he's got to get that on target. And if he manages to steer it on target correctly, for me, he beats Darlow because no one's picking him up. It's a great header. But at the same time, we've got to do better defensively. We're too open. We're too suspect. We're like a Premier League pack of polos in the middle. There's just nothing in the centre in terms of how we go about, attacking sides, making something happen. We don't do that. And Crystal Palace have many chances to even say there could be 2-3 up. I said out of sight. Second half, things don't get any better. Yeah, we'll start brightly for maybe 5-10 minutes, but that's really about it. And Crystal Palace do take the lead. They put the ball in the back of the net, something that they didn't do in the first half. And it was through Christian Benteke. And yet again, it's another cross into the box. Nobody's pressing anyone. No one's marking anyone. And it's too easy. And as the ball gets crossed into the box, Benteke is on hand to head it in. And it's a great bullet header, but who on the line, should be picking them up, trying to stop that from going in? Darlow, could he do better? Maybe. But listen, the goal had been coming, and Palace rightfully get a 1-0 lead. But then, our lads don't cave in. As much as Crystal Palace have chances to double their lead, we get a set piece of our only best chance in the game, really. And as the ball comes in from a corner, Callum Wilson is on hand to put in another kick. Fantastic goal, top left-hand corner. Guaita, the Crystal Palace goalkeeper, has absolutely no chance, and it's 1-1. And you're thinking, right, are we going to build from here and potentially, nick the game 2-1? It wasn't the case. There was a lot of nerves in the side, and that's understandable when the lads are still trying to learn how Graham Jones plays, and they're still learning, who the new manager is going to be. They don't know what the future holds, really from January onwards when things are going to change. And listen, Crystal Palace, they ended the game strongly. They had the chances. Benteke, he hit the crossbar, and Darlow also tipped one over the crossbar as well. So Crystal Palace, as said, could have been 3-1 up. They could have been 4-1 up really, and that VAR goal was choked off. That was the Benteke header from across, and there was a pull on the shirt of Kieran Clark. And as the referee checked the VAR monitor, it was the correct decision, and that could have given Crystal Palace the 2-1 win. If it wasn't for VAR, then Crystal Palace should win that game theoretically, and I wouldn't have argued if Crystal Palace won the game 2-1 because they had the better chances. But the game ends 1-1. It's an away point. It's something to build on. We have to take that as a positive regardless. But I said we got away with it, and it's a good point in the sense of a game that we didn't have any control of, a game that Crystal Palace dominated from start to finish. We got outplayed. We can't lie about that. But Callum Wilson is back amongst the goals, and he's got a very good start in terms of when he plays for us, and when he's fully fit, he puts the ball in the back of the net. But there's plenty that we have to improve on. As said, we need to be giving Callum Wilson, more service. St. Maximin, as said, as much as I love him, he needs to do better, in the final third, and he also needs the service. The midfield, as said, is completely dead. That needs to be improved in the January. And as said, in the January window, we're going to have to improve, on the forwards, because Joe Linton, for me, simply isn't good enough, regardless if people say, oh, well, he holds up the ball, but you want to see him in the box, creating a lot more chances, working the goalkeeper a lot more. And Callum Wilson needs that service, but for me, it's clearly not working, with the likes of Joe Linton. I don't think Dwight Gale's even the answer. And you look at the current midfield, is it good enough? Not for me. Defensively, all over the place. A lot of our defenders need, moving on. And they need to be basically used as like a squad rotation, the current defenders, because we need experienced centre-backs, and there's no question we're going to get that. Darlow, for me, is making far too many saves, and that's because, of our aging defenders. But as said, I'm still concerned at the lack of pressing. We're not getting close enough to players. We're not winning enough of the ball. We're not tracking men. and that's another real concern. You have to do that in the Premier League because it's a ruthless league, and you will get punished. In terms of possession, well, again, that needs to be improved from the ending of the game. I think it was something like 25%. We need at least 50 plus in order to get results in this league, and we're not seeing anywhere near enough of the ball, and that's why we're not getting the wins, and that's why we're winless. After 8 games, the table doesn't lie, and if we don't improve on some of these stats, then unfortunately, unless we get it right in January, we're in massive trouble. We are in a relegation battle. We do have the money, but money doesn't always buy you everything. You have to get it correct, and we have to be shrewd in what we do. And we need the manager in as fast as possible, whether that be Eddie Howe, if that be Paulo Fonseca, who's the favourite, or whether that be Ten Hag from Ajax. I don't care, but we have to get it right. And we need to be getting points on the board fast because, also looking at the squad, looking at how we pass the ball as well. Like, we can't retain the ball for more than 5 to 10 seconds. Just for me, it's not good enough. And I said we're not tracking back enough. There's so much I can pick from the performance yesterday. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's Graham Jones can't really do too much. It's still the same side. Just because we've changed the manager, we can't do much until the window opens in January. But I guess Steve Bruce was never the answer. We knew this. Graham Jones is just in temporary charge, but at least he's done better than Bruce. He's got a point on the board already in his first game in charge. What we're going to do against Chelsea, I'll never know, but I wouldn't be surprised if we come off the back of a hiding. If we're giving Crystal Palace all of them chances and they miss them, well, Chelsea won't miss, certainly because they've got better players. They've just smashed Norwich 7-0, top of the league. I've got them favourites to win the Premier League at the end of the season. They've got a well-drilled, side. They've got a manager there who knows what he's doing. And, we want to be, up there with the likes of Chelsea in the next, maybe 4 to 5 years if we can get the recruitment spot on. But of course, you have to build from the top with your sporting director, and then we need to bring in the manager after that. So there's plenty of work to do. And as said, if I could take any positives from the game yesterday, well, there's one. Actually, there's 2. Callum Wilson scored, and we managed to get a point. And it's something that we have to build on, but eventually we need to start getting wins. Where the next win's coming from, I never know. It's the Premier League, and it's something that Graham Jones will take from the match at Selhurst Park, that we've managed to get something from the game. As I said, I wouldn't have been disappointed had we lost the game because we didn't do anywhere near enough in the game to warrant a point. But that is football. You have to grind out the game sometimes, and it's good to see less negativity from ourselves, the fans, that we can just get behind Graham Jones. There's no anti-chance anymore, and the players can thrive with that. And it's only going forwards from here. It's step by step. I totally understand that, and we're gonna have to just buy our luck at times. And as I said, we'll have to improve against Chelsea in all areas of the pitch in terms of possession, pressing, defending. Everything has to improve in order to to get results. Can we cause a shock next week? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But that is just my thoughts from the Crystal Palace game. It finished Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle United 1. Very lucky to get a point in the end, but we'll take it. We'll move on, and we will look forward to the Chelsea game on Saturday. And it's a game I won't be at, unfortunately, because I am away on holiday. But I'll try and get some sort of reaction from that game. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends and your family. Put your comments down below. Let me know your opinion of the match. And if you haven't followed me on social media, Toon TV, I'm on Instagram and Twitter. So please give me a follow on there. But in the meantime, I'll see you all later. How are the lads?